welcome to another new day. Okay, it is Friday morning, and today for language arts we have a self-check. Okay, so today we're doing a self-check, so that means it's nothing new. It's just a review to help us prepare for the test. So let's start off by doing some review. What are synonyms? Remember, synonyms are words that mean pretty much the same thing. So words like cool and chilly would be synonyms, okay? Because they both mean that it is not warm, it's kind of cold, okay? So cool and chilly would be synonyms. What is the sound and what are the spellings of the ear sound? Remember the spellings of the ear sound are E-E-R, E-A-R, and E-R-E, okay? And those spellings all say ear. So E-E-R, E-A-R, and E-R-E say ear. Two and two. When do we use T-O and when do we use T-W-O? Remember that T-O means action or doing something. They went to the store or to the park. They're going to somewhere, they gave something to somebody. T-W-O tells us how many. It is the number, like we had 2 pencils or 2 papers, okay? It tells us how many. What are the special endings that have the long O sound? O-L-D says old, O-T-H says oath, O-S-T says oast, O-L-T says olt, O-L-L says ol, and then we have the ones that make the I sound. What are the ones that make the I sound? Remember, I-L-D says ild, and I-N-D says ind. When we're wanting to add a consonant suffix, what do we do to the root word? To add a consonant suffix, how do we add one? To add a consonant suffix and the word ends with a silent E, we're going to keep the E and simply just add the consonant suffix. Now what about when the word ends with a silent E and we're wanting to add a vowel suffix? Now remember, a vowel suffix is a suffix that begins with a vowel. So how are we going to do that? When we have a word that ends with an E and we're wanting to add a vowel suffix, we're going to drop the E and add the vowel suffix, okay? The silent consonants. So we have several silent letter combinations. So we have GN, which says N, KN, which says N, WR says and NB says M. The contractions that we have learned. Let us and will not. What are the contractions for let us and will not? So let us are the 2 words that make a contraction. What is the contraction for let us? Remember, the contraction for let us is let's, okay? What about will not? The contraction for will not is won't, okay? So will not is the 2 words that make up the contraction won't. Do you know how to tell if an S has the S sound or the Z sound? Practice sounding out some words. Have your mom help you and give you some words if you need help. And you try to decide if the S says S or the S says Z. I'm going to give you a few words right here. And the word has. Does that S say S or does that S say Z? And the word has. What about in the word must? Must. What does that S say? Does it say S or Z? What about in the word miss? Miss. What about in the word is? Is. So practice saying some words and you decide if they have the S sound or the Z sound. What is a prefix? Remember what a prefix is? Remember, a prefix is letters added to the beginning of a root word. And the prefixes that we have learned are a, in, un, d, and dis, okay? So those are words that come at the beginning, such as words like this. So in this word right here, the word displace, notice right here is the prefix, okay? Dis is the prefix. You can hold that shut, and this is the word place, okay? So the root word is still there. This is just a prefix. So in this word, the word away, A is the prefix. We can cover it up, and we still have a word there, way. So A is the prefix. Notice these are letters added to the beginning of the root words, and these are the root words, okay? So place and way are the root words. These are just letters added to the beginning of the root word, and that is what a prefix is. What is a suffix? Now remember, suffixes are letters added to the end of the word, such as like this. So right here, we have the word taken, okay? And en is our suffix. Okay, so now how do you tell if something is a suffix or if it is part of the word? Remember, to tell if it's a suffix or if it's just part of the word, we have to cover up the suffix and see if it still makes a word, okay? So let's look at the word taken. Now, remember, this is the vowel suffix, okay? So en is the vowel suffix. So that tells us that that silent E was dropped to add this vowel suffix, right? Because remember, when a word ends with an E, we have to drop the E before adding the vowel suffix. So let's just cover this up. What is that word? That word is take, right? And that still makes a word. Take is still a word. So that tells us that en is a suffix because we can close it off and take is still a word. Let's look at this word, swing. Now, is that ing a suffix? Let's look at it. So ing is maybe a suffix. So we're trying to see if this ing is a suffix. Let's cover it up and let's see if we still have a word there. Does that still make a word? SW says swu. Is swu a word? Swu is not a word. So that tells us that ing is not a suffix, okay? Because we can't cover it up and still have a word. So that ing is not a suffix. It is just simply part of that word. And that word is swing. How do we tell if a line of words is a sentence, a phrase, or a question? Remember, a sentence must tell us who or what and what they're doing. A phrase will tell us who or what they're doing, but it will not tell us both. And a question asks us something. It might ask us who or what, or it may ask us what they're doing, okay? But a question asks. What do we put at the end of a question? At the end of a question, we put a what? We put a question mark. And what do we put at the end of a sentence? At the end of a sentence, we put a period. And what about at the end of a phrase? Now, remember, a phrase is not a complete thought, so it's not a sentence, it's not a question, so we don't put anything behind a phrase, okay? Phrase is just a little line of words that is not a complete thought, so it doesn't get anything behind it. What do we capitalize? We capitalize the beginning of every sentence. We capitalize the names of people, names of pets, names of God, and the word I. Okay, so those 5 things: beginning of sentences, names of people, names of pets, names of God, and the word I. Okay, let's look at our lesson now. Lesson 11. Okay, so open your books up to lesson 11, the self-check, and we will look at that quickly. So if you're on your self-check, the very first set of directions says, number 1 through 6 in 2 columns. So write numbers 1 through 6 in 2 columns. You're going to go down 3 there and write 1, 2, 3 in the first column, and then 4, 5, 6 on the other column. So do that right now, and we're going to do our spelling words. Okay, if you have that finished, go ahead and check off the first box. Now, you're probably thinking, I didn't study for my spelling words. These spelling words do not count as a grade, okay? These spelling words, we're just going to do them without really studying them and see how many of these you can get right, okay? And this will kind of help you know what to study for your test on Monday, okay? So don't worry about studying, just do the best you can. And this does not count for a spelling grade, okay? So just do the best you can. Okay, number 1. Get your pencils ready and write these words as I give them to you. Number 1, thing. Is that thing over there an old washing machine? Thing. Thing. Number 2, went. Went. The Martins went to see their family in Indiana. Went. Number 3, next. Next. Next year, you will be in 2nd grade. Next. Number 4, help. Help. Elliot can help Grandpa on the farm. Help. Number 5, thank. Thank. We should always thank God for our food. Thank. And number 6, jump. Jump. Tim and Gary saw 2 deer jump over the fence. Jump. Okay, once you finish with your spelling words, you may mark off the next box, lay your pencils down, and we will be ready to go over the rest of our lesson. Part 2, underline the root words, box the prefixes. So just like we did up here. So for these words, you would go like this. Underline the root words, so this is the root word, and then you're going to box those prefixes, okay? So box the prefixes and underline the root words. Part 3. Match the contractions. So you simply look at the 2 words and look at the set of contractions and you match the contractions and the words. So the 2 words that make a contraction, draw a line from those 2 words to the contraction that those 2 words would make. Part 4. Write the word and add the suffix. So it gives you the rule right there for you. It says vowel suffixes, drop the E, consonant suffix, keep the E, okay? So you look, do those words, are you trying to add a consonant suffix or a vowel suffix? Remember how to tell? Look at the first letter of the suffix. Does it begin with a consonant or does it begin with a vowel? Part 5. Circle the sound of the underlined letters. So you look at each one of those underlined letters in that part, and then you decide which sound does it make. It gives you 2 options there. So which sound of the 2 sounds that it gives you does that underlined letter make? So in the first one, it is rose, and the S is underlined. Does that S say S or does that S say Z? You circle the correct sound that that S makes. Part 6, underline T-O or T-W-O. So is it talking about action? Are you going to underline T-O? Or is it talking about how many? Are you going to underline T-W-O? So you look at those carefully, read those sentences, and decide if you're talking about action, doing something, giving something, or is it asking you, or is it talking about how many? Part 7, write the words in alphabetical order. So it gives you 4 words there. Underline the first letter if that helps you, and put those 4 words in alphabetical order. Part 8, mark the vowels. Simply put a macron or a breve on each one of those vowels to show if it is long or short. Part 9, circle 4 words that need capital letters. So it even tells you how many there is. You look through that sentence and circle 4 words that need capital letters. Part 10, match to sentence, question, or phrase. Put periods or question marks. Okay? So you simply look through those sentences. Does it tell who and what it is? Does it tell us who or what and what they're doing? Does it ask us something? Or is it simply telling us who or what they're doing? Okay? Is it a sentence, question, or a phrase? And then draw a line to what it is and mark it accordingly. A period or a question mark. Part 11, this is your penmanship. Write the sentence neatly on the lines. Hummingbirds fly very fast. So you're going to take that sentence, write it very neatly on the line, and that is for your penmanship, okay? For Monday, we will have the test, so practice your spelling words, and yeah, we will be ready to get on here and do that first thing Monday morning, okay? I think that is all for language arts class. Do your lesson neatly, take your time, make sure you know everything that is on this self-check because that will help you on your test, okay? If you want to study a little bit, study what's on the self-check, and that will be things that are on your test. Okay, I will see you in reading class in just a minute.